Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geek-Stew, and today, guys, welcome back to another episode of Conspiracy Theories with Ike. That's right. And today, guys, I want to thank you all very much for taking the time to watch us. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, and hopefully you're having a good week. I don't know. It's been a little cold where I'm at, so I'm not sure if that's anywhere else, but sorry about that. And yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into our video here today, guys. So last week on my last video, I believe, maybe not, but on a video, a viewer recommended some space-related theories. So thank you very much for your recommendation, and I'm going to, of course, take your recommendation with two theories today. And as a quick reminder, if you want to see any theories, or if you're wanting to see a type of theory, or even if you want to see theories that are not on the iceberg, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always looking for recommendations, and if you recommend it, I will cover it. Pretty much guaranteed. I think 100% of the time that someone comments on one of my videos, I make a video out of it. So anyhow, let's get into it. We have two theories today, space-related theories. The first one is planets are sentient. So before we jump into our first theory, go ahead and give a special thanks to Cicada1205. Thank you so much for the wonderful conspiracy theory iceberg. It has provided so much wonder and joy to so many people on the internet. A lot of people have talked about this iceberg, and I'm just one of many. And I'm very grateful for the people who have decided to follow me and see me cover this iceberg. So thank you so much for that. But we're going to go ahead and jump into our first space-related theory today. We are going to talk about sentient planets. So basically, if you know what the words sentient, planet, then you kind of can guess where I'm going with this. Long story short, planets are alive. Now, that's kind of terrifying in a little bit of a way, just because if we're just sitting on a gigantic living organism, that's kind of crazy. I know a lot of comic books kind of go into this, a lot of literary concepts, Ego from the Marvel Universe, we saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, his character, he's a living planet, it's cool concept, but in regards to it actually being true, yeah, I mean, it's possible, of course. There's no really way for us to confirm or deny that, but it also kind of boils down to, there's a concept, I cannot remember what it's exactly called, but I think it's called like teacup and around, or Venus's teacup or something like that. Basically, it's a concept that if I say there's a small teacup flying around Venus, I mean, I would have to prove that to you, because there's no way that is true unless I can possibly prove it to you. So yeah, that being said, I don't know if I can prove this to you, but I think it's possible. It's probable. It's not the craziest theory that I've ever talked about, but I will say this, is that basically that's all there is to the theory. This one's a really short one. So one small other thing that I read, some people are kind of talking about it, is that if planets are alive, that it may be possible that they exist as sort of a hive mind within each galaxy or solar system, that maybe the sun is the brain of the operations and all the planets are like a hive mind, which, interesting thought process. Not sure if that's true or not, but it could be. I don't know. So yeah, they're alive and they can communicate to one another. That's another thing. Some people kind of posture that, potentially, if they can communicate with one another, they probably communicate on a grand scale that we can't necessarily understand. So yeah, pretty cool theory. Really, that's all there is to it. There's not a whole lot of thought process on it. Somebody mentioned something else called like the Gaia hypothesis, which I might cover later in a different video, because I feel like that's off iceberg, similar to this, but a little bit different. So yeah, that's what it is. Conclusion, who the hell knows? All right, I don't know if this is true. I don't really have a way to prove to you that it's true, but it's not as improbable as some of the other theories that I've talked about. And there's a little bit more speculation with this one than there is like craziness. So it's more of a, hey, this could be true, and sure, yeah, why not? All right, so had to get a quick drink of coffee because this next one is a bit of a doozy. And I'm going to preface this by saying this next theory I believe in 100%. The next theory is the Missing Cosmonauts. So if you don't know, cosmonauts is the term that Russia uses for their space pioneers, their astronauts, their cosmonauts. So yeah, Russia, as many people know, was competing with the United States for a race to the space, if you will. And in a lot of ways, Russia was ahead of us. I apologize, there's like a hair on my face. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
In a lot of ways, Russia was ahead of us to some small degree. I believe that they had the first person in space. We had the first people on the moon. But the first people in space were Russian cosmonauts, I believe in 1961. So yeah, it's very interesting competitiveness that we had with them during the Cold War. Obviously, it was horrifying because we were kind of like always sitting by saying, why are we about to get fucking nuked? Who knows? But I will say this. The missing cosmonauts, also known as the lost cosmonauts or phantom cosmonauts, probably explains why they were able to get somebody into space sooner than we were. So basically, the Soviet Union started doing human space flights prior to the first one in 1961. The theory says that Russia, trying to get ahead, suppressed and or covered up attempts at, basically failed attempts, I should say, at potential space flights. And a lot of those potential space flights and attempts led to the death of a cosmonaut, or losing cosmonauts, because they were never recovered. So yeah, basically, and here's the crazy thing too, and I know for a fact that Russia would do this because the theory says that they did this so that way they would have no bad publicity during the literal Cold War. And like, I'm not trying to like cap here, but like, I know that's it's like a Gen Z thing to say, but no cap. That seems plausible. That sounds like something Russia would do. Russia would cover up the deaths of a few cosmonauts in order to not get bad publicity during probably the biggest standoff that we've ever had in the whole United States history with another country, not to mention literal fucking nukes. Alright, enough about the Cold War before I have a Cold War here. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. It is really fucking cold here, by the way. Small side note. It's like negative, it feels like it's like -8 outside, and it is just ridiculous. Anyways, back to the missing cosmonauts, and not anything to talk about the fucking cold here. Sorry, I gotta flip the goddamn page. So unprepared. So unprepared. Alright. So anyways, there's lots of allegations for this. Like, there's an absurd amount of allegations from people, and like, some of them kind of seem suspicious. Like, there are a couple of them a little sus. And the reason I say that is because some of them definitely feel like propaganda pieces to like try and like basically try and create bad publicity for Russia. So there's two sides of this coin. There are a lot of allegations, a lot of people saying, hey, this happened, but a lot of them are not substantiated. That being said, even though that they may not be substantiated, we kind of have to assume that there are so many that at least some of them have to be true. Like, when I went to research this, there were probably at least a dozen or more like allegations toward this, and the laws of probability would say that at least one of them are at least partially true. So that's why I think this is most likely an accurate or true theory to some degree. But obviously you be the judge of that. So I'm not going to talk about all of the 1 fucking billion allegations towards Russia here. However, I am going to talk about a couple, or actually 3 to be specific. And these 3 were the 3 that to me stood out. I don't know why, but they just seemed like they were not outlandish enough to be lies, but like not concrete enough to be 100% truths. So the first one is the Torah Burt recordings. So supposedly there are 2 brothers in Italy, the Giudica Cordiglia brothers, and they supposedly recorded several failed secret Soviet space missions that ended with cosmonaut deaths. Now, we've not ever been able to recover said recordings or substantiate the existence of those recordings. However, basically it's been a point of contention for years that this happened. And this happened like in 59, I think, or 58. So right before, a couple years before the 61 launch that eventually got them into space. So there's also the story of Vladimir Ilyushin. So Vladimir Ilyushin was a Soviet military pilot who allegedly landed off course during an attempted spaceflight and landed in China. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Landing in China, period, is not going to end up very well for you, and especially for them. Now, I don't know what the whole story is, but he was supposedly held by the Chinese government, and this, of course, was suppressed by the Soviet Union. And there's also, the concept of, hey, we don't want bad publicity during the Cold War, so we gotta stop it in its tracks, and that's basically what they did, right? This was just a story; it was never substantiated. However, it seems probable that they were pretty close. They're pretty close to one another, right? And it doesn't seem too outside the realm of possibility that they may launch a flight that goes off course and then it crashes into their neighboring country or whatever. I don't know. Obviously, they're not neighbors, but they're close enough that I think that this could be true. That being said, one other allegation towards them was that there was supposedly a Czechoslovakian info leak. The Czechoslovakian info leak in 1959 was supposedly from a high-ranking Czechoslovakian communist who basically said that there were unofficial space launches. They called them space shots. I don't know if that's what they called them for some reason. This claim was, of course, never fully substantiated, but it was reported by a literal Italian news outlet called the Continental. And there were 3 names reported. There was Andrei Mitkov. I have to try and read my handwriting, so if I'm not looking, that's why. Andrei Mitkov, Sergei Shibonin, and Maria Gromval. So yeah, there were literally names purported and reported in this Italian news outlet about missing cosmonauts, and that. It just seems too sus to me that they would have this information, that a Italian news agency would go that far. Obviously in today's day and age, a news site will literally report anything, right? Regardless if it's true. But back then, I feel like there was a little bit more journalistic integrity. So I feel like they wouldn't just report that, especially since Italy, you're within spitting distance of Russia, so you don't want to piss them off too much. So, I don't know. I feel like given the circumstances, that seemed a little bit likely that could be true. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there. But my conclusion on this is that it's pretty freaking likely that this happened. I would probably bet a small amount of money that this probably happened. I wouldn't bet my life savings on it, but if someone was like, hey, this person's going to reveal the truth as to whether or not Russia covered up cosmonaut deaths, how much you want to bet that it's false? I would say, you know what? $200 says that it's real. I would do that because I feel pretty confident that to some degree this is probably true. But yeah, we'll probably never know. Russia likes to kind of keep things close to the chest, keep close, they like to keep it close to the vest or whatever the phrase is. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. Or maybe we won't. Maybe they'll take it to the grave. Who knows? But yeah, personally, Missing Cosmonauts, the Phantom Cosmonauts, I like Phantom Cosmonauts better, but on the iceberg it's called the Missing Cosmonauts. That's definitely a very likely theory. And if I had to show somebody a theory that was probably true, I would point to this one. I'd be like, you know what? You can't convince me that Russia wouldn't do this because they 100% would. So, who knows? Who knows? All right, folks. So that's going to be it for today. Those are our 2 space-related theories. Again, thank you so much for recommending these theories. I appreciate the recommendation. And of course, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you want to see a theory covered in any of my videos, go ahead and throw it in the comment section down below. If we get enough people, I'll eventually just kind of roll through them and do a bunch of different theories. And like this person did, they said space-related theories. So if you want a theory based, a paranormal theory or government conspiracy theories, just Tell me what you want. Tell Santa what you want. Come sit on my lap.
What the actual fuck did you just say to me right now? Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight.
That's weird. That's really fucking weird. Anyways, I'm going to pretend like I didn't say that. So if anybody, pulls that clip out at any point in time, I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Tell me what you want. Tell Santa what you want. Come sit on my lap.
Anyhow, so where was I going? I already lost my train of thought. Oh, if you want to see a video of my cat walking in the snow, I'm going to put it right here. So we're going to put Luna in the snow. What the heck is that, Mama? Look at her little paw. Look at her little paw print.
Oh, what is that? Her little paws are so cute.
She's
Okay,
like, okay.
I'm ready to go inside.
She's like, okay, that was. So that might seem a little random, but it snowed here the other day, and my cat, she wanted to go outside. Like she doesn't want to go outside per se, but she's very curious about the outdoors. And so we're like, we've let her walk around outside, just generally, we put her out on our little patio at our apartment, and let her walk around for a little bit. And I figured, why not let her do it now? Like, who knows? Like, she'll like it. And her little paw prints in the snow were super adorable. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that's a little bit of serotonin for you. But yeah. Cat walking in the snow. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy, please leave us a like and a subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, I'm going to show you the chart because you need to see the chart. Literally, most of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. And don't get me wrong, I'm so happy that you're here. But instead of just being a wandering traveler, why don't you call Geek-Stew your home? Just subscribe. Just welcome home. Come on now. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. We're at 1,200 subscribers right now on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. That's something that I'm really enjoying. I've made like a whole $2 on ad revenue, and I'm going to go buy a McChicken with it. I'm just kidding. McChickens are too expensive now. If you haven't noticed, McDonald's has raised their price. Now, that's a conspiracy theory we need to talk about. McDonald's is raising the goddamn prices on the damn fucking dollar menu. I remember back in my day, I literally just said that unironically. That just came out. McDoubles and McChickens were $1 a piece, but now McDoubles are like almost $2, and like McChickens are like $1.50, and even the normal cheeseburgers are like $1.15 or something like that. So yeah, we live in a fucking chaotic Mad Max hellscape of a world because McDonald's is raising their prices. Man, that was the fattest thing I've ever said in my life. Anyhow, yeah, if you enjoyed, do all the things I said. Follow us on social media. We have wonderful social medias that you can go follow. They're a little bit boring, but we're trying to get them a little more exciting. Join our Discord. It's a little dead, but you know how it goes. We're trying to get that revamped as well. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and say stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay awesome. We will see you in the next one. See ya.